Activism is a character, and activism is that character and probably personality that can be worn by anyone. It's a character that speaks to your ability to communicate, your ability to do things a little bit differently, your ability to probably change and challenge situations that are tending into an abeyance mode that does not support. It's really a character. So you could find a journalist who is not an activist, but you could also find a journalist who is an activist. So journalism as a profession, I would imagine, is embedded in its activism characters, because it's journalism that allows you to go beyond where everyone will go. So with the innovation that journalism and journalists bring on board, it allows the amplification of citizens' voices that probably civil society organizations usually bring on the platform or create platforms for. And when they create these platforms, who sends that message out? Who takes that information out? It is the journalists who take that information out. We've had a series of attacks on individuals as journalists on the information they have churned out. We've had a series of attacks of them being able to capture situations or stories that would be questionable in one way or the other. They are either attacked, they are beaten, they are violated, sometimes they are even abused. We know of journalists that have suffered on the front lines. We've had situations where media houses are being asked not to recruit particular people because of their high stand on certain issues and how they share that information out. We've also had media houses being threatened and intimidated for their licenses to be revoked because they bring or host different actors who are considered to be highly critical of the government, but also highly critical of how we are governed as citizens in this country. So we've seen all these particular pockets of things that speak to journalism and journalists and media and freedoms of expression and information being under attack in Uganda. If citizens do not have the space to speak out, if citizens feel threatened and that threat or intimidation highly censors what they say and when they say it and who they say it to, it becomes difficult for them to speak out. If the environment, the civic space, the democratic space that allows citizens to speak out is not facilitative enough, does not give them that opportunity and comfort that they can say anything and nothing will happen to them, citizens will not speak out. So it's not only a citizen's duty, but it's also a duty that government has to embrace, that it must create a conducive environment that allows citizens to speak out. Today people are not speaking out because they fear. Anytime you speak out, they'll come for you as an individual. You see, that's the biggest challenge. We have laws that allow government operatives to come for you as an individual, leave alone coming for you as an institution. But they can come for you as an institution, but as an individual. People have a lot of stake as individuals. And for them to be able to guarantee protection of that stake, they will not speak out. Speaking out doesn't mean that when they don't speak out, it doesn't mean that they are happy about how they are governed. They are not happy. That's why they use different other spaces to be able to churn out this information. And for me, that is what is important. While it's an obligation of citizens to speak out, it's also an obligation of government to create a conducive environment, the civic space that allows democratic enjoyment of the freedoms that are enshrined within the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, but also freedom of the press and the media.